Peter, again, said in chapter 1, verse 13, "Therefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end, for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ." He knew Christ was returning. He knew Christ would reveal himself in their lifetime. Okay? And so he says, hope to the end. Gird up the loins of your mind, just like Jesus said. Remember? He told them to let their loins be girded about. Okay? So Jesus, they're using the same terminology. They're following the words of their master, their Lord and their Savior. Girding the loins is preparing for something to happen. They were to be watchful, sober, and prayerful. Quote, "But the end of all things is at hand. Be therefore sober, and watch unto prayer." Think about the implication of that statement. If God's time is not our time, and it could mean 2,000 years, think of it. The end of all things is at hand. Be watchful, therefore. That wouldn't make sense. Could happen in 2,000 years. The end is not going to be for 2,000 years, but I'm going to say at hand. Be watchful. Telling the first century believers to be watchful for something that's going to happen 2,000 years into the future. Little misleading, I think, of God, if that's what he's saying. Little deceptive. Just writing things like that to keep them on their toes. Well, I'll tell them it's at hand so that they're watchful and sober. But I'm not really going to be coming anytime even remotely close to the first century. Come on, you guys. Why would that sit well with us? Why? Why would we put up with that kind of philosophy that is so destructive to the scriptures? Why? Why would we do it? Let's just be honest. We're not trying to fight about this issue. Not at all. It is eschatology, but it's important because our eschatology is going to have an effect on how we live our lives today. I mean, if I really do believe that Israel is the chosen nation, then sure, let's slaughter those Palestinians. Get them out of that land. Let's bulldoze all of their houses. However, if God was through with Israel in the first century, and Jesus has called us to be the light of the world, and you are a city set up on a hill, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. For Arabs to see Christians funneling billions of dollars into Israel to slaughter Palestinians, it's not really a good example of love. It's not really shining our light so that they see our good works and glorify God. Instead, what they're seeing is they're seeing the evil of the terrorism of America toward Arabs. Now listen, the terrorism that Arabs have returned to us, certainly that's evil as well. So I certainly don't condone that. 9/11 was a horrible tragedy, and it was wrong. We have to understand that they are retaliating against our hatred of Palestinians. And we're showing, we can say, no, we love the Palestinians. Well, no, when you channel money into Israel to kill Palestinians and give them money, billions of dollars every year to defend themselves against the Palestinians, to kill them, to slaughter them, to push them out of their land, which we've been doing since 1948, that is a venomous evil. Okay? And you have lots of these right-wing Christians who oppose abortions but support the slaughter of Palestinians. It's a dichotomy. It really is. It's an oxymoron. We're talking about the destruction of human life. You can't call yourself a loving Christian when you believe that we should be slaughtering Palestinians. We started it, okay? Yeah, it's wrong for the Arabs to continue it. But really, honestly, if someone came over to my land and started slaughtering my people, I would be pretty angry. And people say, well, wait, that's what they did at 9/11. No. What happened is that's their response to what we have been doing since 1948. Countless Palestinians have been killed by Israelis because of this Zionist, Christian Zionist movement that involves Britain, America, and Israel. Just study it. All you have to do is look at the Balfour Declaration of 1917, where Lord Balfour gave to the British Parliament a declaration demanding the return of the Jews to their land. That was in 1917. And finally, it came to action in 1948. And Israel was established as a nation at the expense of Palestinians and their lives. And since 1948, we, with Britain, have helped Israel kill hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. And we're surprised that Arabs are attacking us. Something's wrong. We need to change our foreign policy. We need to change what is going on in the Middle East. We need to start saving lives, not destroying them. America likes to meddle in other affairs. You want to know how our economy is going to change? Take the billions of dollars that we are spending trying to conquer other nations and force our democracy upon them. And take the billions of dollars we are pouring into foreign oil and supporting terrorist nations. That's what we're doing, okay? By buying foreign oil, we're supporting terrorist nations. Now, let's look at it for a moment. Imagine if we hadn't done what we had done to Israel, or to Palestine, through Israel. We probably wouldn't have gotten attacked. We wouldn't be at war with all of these countries. They were Muslim back then too. And our economy would be a lot better off, and we wouldn't have thousands of our own soldiers killed. We have murdered our own soldiers. That's what we have done. Our government has sent our soldiers over there to die for an unjust cause. We need to love those soldiers more than that. We need to love our servicemen and women in the armed forces and care for them and pray for them. And we need to support our country and be more patriotic and stop sending all of our money to meddle in other countries' affairs and take that money and put it in to hard laboring American men and women with families who are making, some of these men and women are making $10, $12 an hour, and they're working hard labor jobs, blue collar jobs. We need to take that money and help those working men and women in America. And I apologize if you believe that somehow I'm getting out of line in talking about our Middle East policy, but it is directly related to our view of prophecy. We'll talk more about that later and continue our study of audience relevance in the New Testament.